Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Chris Lee Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and of course we give you insight into what it all means. Joining me as always is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Mr. John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the internet, coming to you live from the Stream.tv studios here in Hollywood, California. I'm nervous as hell because Ashley's out of town tomorrow, Chris Lee's out of town tomorrow. Ann Campea is going to be hosting the show tomorrow, and she left me a note this morning that says, just a warning, I'm not going to let you get away with any of your normal crap tomorrow. So I really don't know what that means. Maybe I won't be here, but just thought I'd give you that insight.
And we are glad to have her back at the table, our AMC editor, Miss Amy Rose Eisenbach.
Yay!
Hey guys, nice to be back, and thank you so much for all your love and support during this time. Truly a testament to how incredible our fans are, and I really appreciate it and love you guys very much. And yay for Anne, holding the keys to the castle tomorrow.
And we also have joining us one of our newest AMC team members, Mr. Christian Harloff of Schmoes Know.
What's going on, guys? Yeah, Team Ann.
Don't encourage her.
The upcoming Marvel film, Avengers Age of Ultron, does not hit AMC theaters until May 1st, 2015, but director Joss Whedon is already sharing some insight into details into the new villain. In a recent discussion with Empire magazine, Whedon shared the following. Last time I had all of Earth's mightiest heroes versus one British character actor, and I needed more conflict. I'm having a blast with Ultron. He's not a creature of logic, he's a robot who's genuinely disturbed. We're finding out what makes him menacing and at the same time endearing and funny and strange and unexpected and everything a robot never is. When asked about moving the Avengers action from an American city to various European locations, Whedon responded with this. This palette-wise is very different. I'm trying to make a different film because why would you make one movie twice? That seems weird. John, what do you make of Whedon's comments?
A couple of really cool things. First of all, as he's describing Ultron about, okay, menacing, genuinely disturbed, but endearing and funny at the same time, that's a Joss Whedon villain right there. It also sounds like a robot Joker. In many ways. It kind of sounds a bit like a robot. And then picturing a character like that with James Spader's voice. Perfect. And I'll be honest, until this quote, I was a little bit worried that he just would make Ultron the dark, menacing, I am the darkest of black, the most evil of evil, whatever. It's hearing that he's going to do the Joss Whedon thing. He's going to give him personality and quirks and things like that. I think that's great. As far as the other quote about, changing locations and changing the scenery and the action and the palette and all that kind of thing, it's nice to hear. I like to know that it's good to know that he's cognizant of that sort of thing. And I believe, I got nothing to back this up with, that he was taking a not so veiled shot at the Transformers movies, which is always big downtown city, boom, 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 robots fight there. Yeah, Detroit. No, this time it's Chicago, so it's completely different. I think it was a not so veiled shot at that. But overall, obviously I'm so excited about this, but hearing that he's going to give this villain his Whedon-esque charm and everything too, I just love it. Amy Rose?
Yeah. First of all, James Spader voicing this is just ridiculous. When I first heard that, I was just like, no-brainer, perfection. I just listening to the man talk, sing me bedtime stories, serenade me, whatever you want to do. I love this man. And of course, Joss Whedon is going to make this character very multifaceted, very complicated. That's his way. And he's also one of those directors that's never going to fall victim to repeating the first film for the sequel. We see that so many times. They try to recreate the magic and have similar character moments and similar script and all of this, but Whedon is not, the type to fit within a box. And everything I've been seeing about this, I have such great faith in this production, and I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, he's got a lock on this franchise. He knows where he's going with it. He's got it. This is his life. This is what he wants to do. He has his little side projects that he does to, let him do the Joss Whedon thing, and then he takes that with him, though, into the big movies, too. Like you said, adding the Joss Whedon characters. The humor the comment concerns me just a little bit, because like you said, if it serves, because I thought the humor in Avengers worked great.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought some of the humor in Thor, I know it's not his movie, but the humor in Thor didn't work so well. If it's more of the Avengers type of humor and more of humor that this character, that it works for, and it's not just forced humor to be like, hey, it's a fun Joss Whedon character, we did that. If it fits the personality and you take that away, like Ultron had some, sass behind him, then it works. But he guy knows what he's doing right.
Here's an interesting thing to keep in mind too, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before. in talking about why would I want to make the same movie twice. This is the first sequel Joss Whedon's ever done.
Yeah.
We've never seen him do a sequel, so it is going to be really cool to see how he approaches that.
Yeah.
And the humor component, like Whedon is so good at finding those moments that are kind of dry and making them comical. And because they fit so in line with the character. So that's what I love so much. It's not like slapstick like you're saying in some of the Thor moments. Even though I really liked Thor, I think he's more seamless about his, comedic intervention.
All right, what's next?
Director Jon Favreau has just added 2 more major names to the list of voice actors to his upcoming new Disney film, The Jungle Book. Scarlett Johansson and recent Academy Award winner Lupita Nyong'o have joined the cast and will voice the characters of Kaa the python, with Nyong'o providing the voice of Mowgli's adopted wolf mother, Rasha. They join Idris Elba, who is voicing Shere Khan. Amy Rose, what do you think of Johansson and Nyong'o joining The Jungle Book?
I'm not ever really that enamored with vocal talents being added to a roster. I don't think it's necessarily a waste because I understand why they'd want to do it. It's good money, it's fast, and it's fun. You get to bring these characters to life. I love Jon Favreau. I have great faith in him. This is his passion project. And, both of those wonderful women have had quite a year. Scarlett Johansson, this is her breakout year. With Under the Skin, she's never been better as Black Widow.
Lucy looks great.
Lucy looks great. And not to mention Lupita, coming off 12 years, Academy Award. I just think this makes sense for them because it's going to be fun. Not to mention, this is supposed to be darker, like the actual Kipling novel. So I am interested to see, but I've never been the type that's like, oh, great, you have the vocal talent. Sure, it's fun. It's a little nod because you recognize it, especially Scarlett. She has such a distinctive voice. She was so amazing in Her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. It's great. I'm still looking forward to it, but I can't be like, yay.
I was a little bit worried, actually, because I forgot for a moment that this was a live-action film. And when I was reading the stories, like, they're doing the voices on the wait. You're not doing... This is weird and a little bit hypocritical of me because I'm totally cool with reboots, totally cool with it. But I remember thinking, I knew he was doing a Jungle Book movie, but tell me you're not rebooting it with another animated.
Yeah.
You don't reboot Jungle Book with another animated,
good.
so it's nice, but I'm with you. I've never understood the appeal of why they want to get big celebrities. You're fooling yourself if you think it adds a single dollar to the box office. Because those kids are going to go watch Jungle Book movies. They won't know that that's Scarlett Johansson's voice. They don't know who Lupita Nyong'o is. They don't care. Although I will say this, picturing the voice of Idris Elba as Shere Khan, okay, that works.
That's
That's
cool.
pretty good. But I am still of the mindset and still the school. Look, there are actors out there who do nothing but have trained to just do voice acting. And the movie would be better served to use them, quite frankly. So, look, Jon Favreau obviously loves working with Scarlett Johansson. This is going to be, I think, his 4th or 5th time working with her.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? But, and that's fine. And I'm sure they'll do great jobs. I'm sure of it. I just think the movie would have been better served to get people who just train for voice acting. That's just me, though.
I agree with you when it comes to just pure animation. I think that, again, if you want to use a character that in a live-action film that served the voice was James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, so it's like, I bet it's a huge role. Honestly, it's not going to be as iconic in this movie. But I like having big actors for this because it's not just, you're right as far as the kids are not going to be, they're not going to know who's who. But this is the darker version. I think that for the general audience that is going to see this movie, I think it will be cool for them to hear, hey, that's Scarlett Johansson. Like you said, her voice is so distinct that that really works. And then it's not going to serve so much because not everybody, the general public, is so aware of Lupita Nyong'o right now.
Right.
But she is such a talented actress, and she's doing new things. She's not this giant star that is just, she very well, as of 2-3 years ago, could have put her voice out there and been that example of the person you're saying that's just trying to get their talents out there. So, I'm excited for these voices, and I do think it adds to what Favreau is doing for this story.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show called Buy or Sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Chris Lee's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then Christian, Amy Rose, and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Chris Lee, what do we got?
Sony Pictures has announced that it will go into production of a Barbie film by the end of the year in partnership with Mattel. From princess to president, mermaid to movie star, Barbie has done it all. Through her more than 150 careers, she has gained valuable experience and shown her fans that anything is possible for a modern woman. Christian, be kind here. Buy or sell a Barbie movie.
I'm gonna definitely sell it. Get it out of here. Get it out of my life. I never want to hear about it again. And here's why. Not just because obviously I'm not the target audience. It's because here's the main reason. If you would have told me that Disney was doing this movie and hooking it up with Pixar, spinning it off of some of the stuff they did in Toy Story,
Story, yeah.
I'm in. This is Sony, which a lot of their stuff I like. However, they're also responsible for Smurfs. Okay, so the fact that what they have done there, it's a cash grab. That's all it is. And one of the quotes from the executive was, "It's going to be for all movie-going audience." No, it isn't at all. Every father that has to take his daughter in there, you might as well give them a pistol. It is all. It's awful. Boom. I mean, this one I'm passionate about. Get it out of there.
Okay, I just want to reaffirm that AMC in no way encourages people to bring pistols to movie theaters at all. Yeah, but I'm going to admit,
Oops.
I like the first. I like the first Smurfs. I really did, and I can't justify it. So don't bother arguing with me about it because I'll have no answers about why I liked it. I did. Here's the thing about doing a Barbie film. Okay, is it a cash grab? Yes, but I say this all the time. Every film in the history of Hollywood ever made is a cash grab. They're all about making the money. But I'll be honest with you. I hated the idea when I first heard it. Then I read the scripts. You know, this is an iconic figure to generations of young women who have grown up. She's had 150 different careers in different. You've had Executive Barbie and Aquasea Explorer Barbie. You've had all this kind of stuff. Bringing that in, I think there's some comedic potential and all that kind of stuff, and it brings me around a little bit. Not enough to make it a buy, though. For me, it's still a sell. I'm just not selling it as hard as Christian is. I think there's some potential there, maybe. Anyway, Amy Rose?
First of all, CGI Smurfs and CGI Garfield terrify me.
Yeah.
Terrify me.
Yeah.
Like, I might as well be a clown, which is like my greatest fear ever. Like, I'm not on board. Sorry, Chris Lee, I'm also selling this. I never actually played with Barbies. I was more of a G.I. Joe girl. It's kind of a tomboy growing up. But I don't know. I did the Toy Story spin on it, was charming. With Ken and Barbie and their and the clothing, all that. If Chris Miller and Phil Lord were doing Barbie, I'd probably be on board. Yeah. But for now, and it doesn't mean it won't be clever and turn out to be good. I wasn't looking forward to the Lego Movie either, and that turned out to be fantastic. So we'll see. But for now, I'm gonna sell it.
It's interesting you say that because I felt your first expression about the Barbie movie is exactly my first reaction when I heard about Lego. I thought, this is stupid, this is ridiculous, and thankfully they made me eat my words.
And your daughter is going to drag you to this.
She will. And again, I'll just excuse myself. That was a dopey comment, but it was very passionate. I'm sorry about that.
All right, what's next?
I have to tell you that if the Barbie movie is anything like Barbie in my house, she was cheating on G.I. Joe with He-Man. So if that's in the movie, I'm going to buy it.
That girl.
All right, the live-action Goosebumps movie has officially started shooting this week. The film is described as follows. In Goosebumps, upset about moving from a big city to a small town, teenager Zach Cooper finds a silver lining when he meets the beautiful girl Hannah living right next door. Zach learns that Hannah has a mysterious dad who is revealed to be R.L. Stein, played by Jack Black, the author of the best-selling Goosebumps series. It turns out that there is a reason why Stein is so strange. He is a prisoner of his own imagination. The monsters that his books made famous are real, and Stein protects his readers by keeping them locked up in their books. When Zach unintentionally unleashes the monsters from their manuscripts, they begin to terrorize the town, and it's suddenly up to Stein, Stack, and Hannah to get all of them back in the books where they belong. John, buy or sell the sounds of Goosebumps with Jack Black.
This is one of those situations where I went in my head when I first read the story, okay, they start shooting Goosebumps, Jack Black, bleh. Then I actually read the synopsis, and I'm like, no, I'm on board. It's a buy. For me, it's a buy. It reminds me a little bit of They Call Me Bruce, or My Name is Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
And that whole idea about, no, he's a real life guy and this is really happening in the world. I think there's some potential there. And as I was reading the synopsis, I started realizing Black fits perfectly with something like this. So oddly, I'm surprised. I'm going to give it a buy. Amy Rose?
I am so on board for this. I read Goosebumps growing up. I love this. I mean, it was the introduction of my horror heart because there are all these mysteries, and I love it. And I think that Jack Black is the perfect person for this because, sure, we know he's just the right amount of kooky, but he's also done some other amazing roles. High Fidelity is still one of my favorite movies ever, and he was incredible in that. But so many other roles. I think he'll have that right amount of the mad scientist-esque, tortured artist, but also enough being grounded. So I'm so excited about this, and there's so many different plots they could explore with this. So I think this is a really cool way to tell the Goosebumps story. So yeah, enthusiastic buy.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it as well. It kind of reminds me of Jumanji meets Neverending Story.
Wow, that's exactly my thoughts.
Yeah,
I love that.
It just
Two amazing movies.
It just reminds me of that too. And again, with Jack Black, is the fact you can see what's going to happen. He's just going to be in the corner in the dark, and then he's going to warm up to the kids, and he's going to help, and it's going to be again like very Jumanji-esque. And I think it with a little bit of a darker tone.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think it'd be cool. We haven't seen Jack Black do a really good movie in a bit.
Yeah.
This could be it.
One other thing that whenever we think about Jack Black, stuff like that, it's still my favorite performance of his, because you were talking about him in High Fidelity. Still, his performance in Tropic Thunder.
Oh my God.
That's the one that made me a big Jack Black fan.
That was a gem.
All right, what's next?
The upcoming third Hobbit film, The Hobbit, There and Back Again, has officially changed its title. The new title of the movie is now The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Explaining the change of title, director Peter Jackson said the following: "Our journey to make the Hobbit trilogy has been in some ways like Bilbo's own, with hidden paths revealing their secrets to us as we've gone along. There and Back Again felt like the right name for the second of the two films telling of the quest to reclaim Erebor. But when Bilbo's arrival there and departure were both contained within the second film. But with 3 movies, it suddenly felt misplaced. After all, Bilbo has already arrived there in the desolation of Smaug. The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies opens in AMC theaters everywhere on December 17th. Amy Rose, buy or sell the new title?"
I'm gonna buy it. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what you would call this film, because I have loved this new installment. Lord of the Rings is still one of my favorite trilogies of all time, and Smaug just raised the stakes. So they definitely have a lot, big shoes to fill with carrying it off, but the Five Armies is what we're all excited to see.
Yeah.
So just blatantly calling it what it is, what this crazy battle that we're about to see is forming, then it makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, I'm so excited for this.
Christian?
I'm going to buy it as well too, because for me, it's. People have to realize, I know that some people still say, well, how do they make 3 movies out of 1 book? People have to get over that. If you haven't already, you have to get over it, because this is clearly a prequel for the Lord of the Rings trilogy. This title is a testament to that. Is the fact it's the Five Armies. We're going to get a lot more leading into the Fellowship of the Ring, which to me, I actually like it. I don't mind. It was nice to have There and Back Again. It was nice, but this to me is a little more fitting.
Right. Sell!
Yeah?
Sell this! I don't Peter Jackson with your logic. Oh, he's already showed up. It doesn't make sense to call it There and Back Again. I don't care about your logic. There and Back Again. That's what it should be called. I was so excited.
Yeah, but aren't you hooked into that?
I'm going to say this completely. Peter Jackson is absolutely right. Everything he said is completely true. It makes sense. He's already gotten there in the last film, so he's not arriving in this next one. The Battle of the Five Armies is a great title. That is what we've all been looking forward to ever since they said they were going to do the Hobbit movies. He makes total sense, and he's absolutely right. And I don't care that he's right. I wanted the title There and Back Again.
Why is that such a great title?
Because that's the title.
That's because the book is it sentimental to you, though?
Yeah, it's Bilbo Baggins There and Back Again by
They also
Bilbo
added
Baggins.
Tariel. She's not really a character that should have been
I know.
anywhere.
But this is the power of the internet, because again, go back to 1982 when it was originally supposed to be Revenge of the Jedi. That would have been all over the place.
Yeah.
It was under the cracks because we didn't have the internet. So
Yeah.
you find out years later, oh wow, that was supposed to be. If it was back in 1982, you wouldn't care. Like the fact, because again, it's just the building up.
Yeah.
It's a sentimental thing, and I get it. I think a lot of people feel the way you do, but I also, like you do, we agree with his logic.
And he's right. He is right. I'm not
Good
denying
job,
he's
Jackson.
totally right.
Yeah.
I just don't like it anyway.
But you're not going to see it now, right?
Oh, yes. All right, folks, we reached that part of the show called Mailbag. Listen, if you've got a topic or a question you'd like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. And for those of you who are watching us live, we're going to leave a few minutes at the end of the show to take some of your questions live via Twitter. So you can hop on Twitter and tweet to us at AMC Movie News. So, first, we're going to get to the mailbag questions. Chris Lee, what's in the mailbag?
Luke McGowan says, "Hey guys, do you think that David O. Russell is trying to be the next Martin Scorsese? I'm starting to see real parallels lately in the types of story Russell does, and can see that he is starting to use some of Scorsese's signature techniques. Look at American Hustle versus Goodfellas, The Fighter versus Raging Bull. I'm a big fan of both directors, but I'm just wondering if you see the connection too."
Well, I mean, David O. Russell is very quietly becoming one of the best directors in the business, because you look at the last 3 he did: American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, The Fighter. I mean, I believe all 3 of them were nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
And then even before that, I Heart Huckabees, Three Kings. I mean, he's real good. However, I don't see the connection yet. I mean, because while there are some theme similarities between what some of the things David O. Russell has done and Scorsese has done, I really don't see a style similarity very much in myself. And also, to compare them, I think the sample size is still too small with David O. Russell. Let's give David O. Russell 5, 6, 7 more years, and let's start talking comparisons. I just don't see a style similarity, but that's just me. Oh, and he's got this other movie coming out that I'm really curious about. David O. Russell does, called Nailed, which sounds like a bad 80s porn title. Completely agree, it does. But it's Jake Gyllenhaal and I believe Jessica Biel star in the film, where Jessica Biel plays a woman who's got a nail rammed into her head somehow, some way, and and it's causing her a lot of problems. She has to go to Washington, D.C. to fight for some rights, and Gyllenhaal plays some kind of senator who's trying to help her, whatever. It sounds weird to me, and that's great for David O. Russell, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, Amy Rose, do you see similarities between Russell and Scorsese?
I heard that a lot when American Hustle came out, that it was a ripoff of Goodfellas or whatever, and sure, the subject matter might have been similar in some respects, same with Raging Bull versus the Fighter, stuff like that, but I see similarities, but I wouldn't call it a knockoff or anything. Not to mention, I Heart Huckabees was completely a departure from it, and I even see some Wes Anderson in that one. So, I mean, I don't think
I see a lot of Wes Anderson in that one, actually.
I don't think it's uncommon for directors who admire Scorsese is one of the masters of the universe for film, and I don't think it's uncommon for a lot of people to appreciate that and kind of implement techniques, of course, who you're studying. But I think O. Russell has his own style. I think he's a very accomplished filmmaker. All these amazing actors keep wanting to work with him. He's won a lot of them Academy Awards. I think he's doing all right. Not to mention, Scorsese still is one of my favorites of all time, but his track record compared in more recent times, compared to O. Russell's, it's a little different, you know? Like, sure, he had the Eternal Affairs remake, Departed, and Wolf of Wall Street mixed, but I still liked it. But O. Russell has had hit after hit after hit in more recent times, and sure, he hasn't been around as long in terms of that. But yeah, I see similarities, but I would say they both also have their own thing to bring to the mix.
Christian?
This is a tough one for me because I do think the first half, I'm not a big American Hustle fan. I think it was completely overrated. I do think the first half of American Hustle is a pure ripoff of Scorsese's style. Pure style.
Really? You saw the style
Yes,
similarities?
very much so. Perfect example of that is there's a scene where the phone rings in American Hustle, where it's a quick shot on the phone, then back over to someone, and that is a Scorsese shot. He's done it in Goodfellas and Casino. Thematically, the only ones I kind of see, again, Fighter and Raging Bull, that's the only thing. That's the only time I saw style-wise was American Hustle in that first half. It didn't matter what it was about because everybody should be able to do your own thing as far as this is my take on it.
Yeah.
But style-wise, I did feel that was the case. I don't think he's going to do it from now on. I think he wanted to do an homage. That's even why he put De Niro in the movie as well too. So it was more.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, it was. And the second half to me was a lot better than the first because I felt Russell's style. Like, I like his style and everything he does and the way he does movies. I agree with you, John. He's one of the best out there right now. But only time I found it super similar and a bit of a ripoff was that first half.
All right, what's next?
Connor Sash writes, "Hey crew, hope all is well. My question has to do with one of my all-time favorite movies, Office Space." Me and Connor are going to be great friends. It was hilarious and so relatable. I was wondering if it's possible to ever see a sequel or a remake of this genius. Thanks, guys. Bring on the filthy.
I'll watch Office Space once or twice every year.
Yep.
I mean, and it's one of those movies that if you're sitting at home and flipping through the channels and it's on, you stop. You just stop. It doesn't matter what point it's on.
Even if you own it, I stop.
I mean, there are so many iconic, legendary one-liners in that thing, whether it's about the printer or whether it's about Michael Bolton or whether it's about, what would you do if you had $1 million? 2 chicks at once. I mean, all just the ridiculousness of it. But I don't think you can ever do a sequel to it. I mean, that movie ended itself in such a way that, look, I've always said with the comedies especially, it's okay that the story doesn't seem to make sense to go forward. Sometimes you just got a group of characters that you want to hang out with again. That's cool. But the way Office Space ended, they all kind of, went off. Everything kind of changed and everything was different. It was a definitive end. And could you remake it? Maybe in 30 years. It's still too relevant right now. Like right now, there just doesn't seem to be a purpose to remaking it because I don't think you can update it much. It's not like you can improve it with visual effects. I mean, the actors who are in it are still relevant. The plots and the storylines and the situations are still, but are mostly still relevant.
Yeah.
So I don't see a need to remake it, and I don't think you can sequelize it. Anyway, how do you guys see it?
I mean, that didn't stop Goonies from so many years later either if they get the original cast. So I feel like I don't like remakes. We always send a very different sides of the spectrum for that. If it's gold, why touch it? Why not explore something different? That's always been my stance. But I think for this, it was such a classic. It is one of those movies that I own that if it's on TV, I'm like, I'll watch the commercials. I love it so much. It doesn't matter. But I just don't think it's necessary. Could they find a story to bring the characters back? Yeah, there's some clever writers, but I just think it stands so well on its own that it's really, really not necessary.
Yeah, I think you leave it alone. I think because one of those reasons too, I don't think it was a huge financial success at the box office. One of those movies that kind of lived on a lot in college and it had that type of feel. So yeah, I just don't see the need for it. And Mike Judge has been doing stuff here and there. So that was when really he had a grip on these characters and he was hot at the time too. I don't think we need it.
All right, folks, well, we said we'd leave a couple minutes at the end for your Twitter questions, and that's what we're going to do. So, Crystal Lee, what are people asking on Twitter?
Joe Hallenbeck wants to know, if you guys were in charge of Batman versus Superman, which new character would you introduce to the movie? And Joe, love the hashtag.
None. No, they've got the characters in there right now that they need. I'm all for having 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. I am. If you balance the story out right and all that kind of stuff, you got Batman and Superman, you got what you need. You've already said you're putting Wonder Woman in there. Okay, cool. I wouldn't add anything else. I really wouldn't.
They're introducing a new character, Batman. Because it's not the Christian Bale Batman. It's a new Batman. It's a new Batman. So they have to get him in there first. And again, from what Zack Snyder's comments recently, it's Batman versus Superman. Yeah. So you really have to set him up because we already know this Superman. We're on board with him. We don't know this Batman. Are we going to be against him right away because he's against our boy? Or are we going to be on his side? So he's got to get us on his side first. And then they throw Wonder Woman in there, which we know she has to win you over.
Yes.
So those two characters.
Fingers crossed.
They're besties. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we just got to figure that out.
Yeah, I already think it's too crowded. I mean, we really liked Man of Steel. We already have Nolan's amazing Dark Knight trilogy. I still want this to be Superman. I mean, what they tried to do with Alien vs. Predator, like, even if it's cheesy, it's fun. And I want to see all these monsters together. I think it would be fantastic. And Shane Black, you're right. I mean, sure, Iron Man 3, a lot of people, it was on the other end.
His humor was still there,
His humor is there, but Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is still one of the most fantastic films. So, yeah, I would really like to see this. And I feel like it's a waste of not capitalizing on these franchises for them to waste it. We're always dreaming of crossover, so give me the Monsters crossover.
All right, folks, so that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us on this installment of AMC Movie Talk. Don't forget, lots of great films playing in AMC theaters everywhere right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this podcast, make sure you look in the description of this video and you'll find links to our Stitcher and our iTunes so you can listen to us on the way to work. And if you haven't done so already, stop what you're doing and click on that subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. I want to thank, first of all, those sitting at the table with me, starting on my immediate right. She's the senior editor of movie news here at AMC Movie News. I was going to say Amy Rose Eisenbach, and I don't know why. I was thinking of Benedict Cumberbatch for a second. Amy Rose Eisenbach. Amy Rose?
I am cool with that hybrid. I am all about that.
Where can people find you online?
On Twitter at Amy Rosie. And thanks again for all the love. Right back at you.
And, of course, one of our news team members here at AMC Movie News, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you online?
Right here on YouTube. Go and subscribe to my channel, Schmoes Know. And again, the same sentiment. Thank you for being so supportive of me as a new member on AMC.
And, of course, our lovely host today, the author of her upcoming biography, Cheating on G.I. Joe with He-Man, Miss Crystal Lee Kennedy. Crystal Lee, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Crystal Lee. And don't ever forget, Magneto made me do it.
And you can find me on the various social media channels at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow. So until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.